This is four-time Miss Olympia Jay Cutler. You're watching RXMuscle.com.
Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today we're here with IFBB Men's Physique Pro, Charlotte Pro, and Pittsburgh Pro champion here in 2017, Raymont Edmonds. Welcome.
What's up, man? What's up, Dave?
You're on a roll, 2 in a row. Charlotte Pro, Pittsburgh Pro, you got New York coming up. What happened? You put it all together. Last year you didn't qualify for the Olympia. This year you were 6th at the Arnold, and all of a sudden you're on fire now. Tell us what's been going on.
Well, this year I began working with Omar Ventura prior to the Arnold Classic, and I thought I knew what hard work was until I got with this guy, and the results been paying off, man.
Was it a matter of that you just weren't getting hard enough and you weren't dieting, long enough, or was it something else?
I mean, I wasn't like getting blown out the water last year. I just, I guess I just wasn't getting over that last hump that you need to get into the elite level and win shows.
Wait, was it a muscle issue or was it a conditioning issue?
I'd say a little bit of conditioning issue. And improvements in my back area, which I increased, this season. My previous coach I was working with, he wasn't too big with like cardio like we are now. So even my approach, my mentality, I was like not so much of a belief in cardio, but now I'm like a cardio boss, man. I'm at it. Fasted cardio, post cardio. I run all day, every day, and it's working.
Yeah, you gotta burn the fat. That's what I always say. Now, you played spoiler in Pittsburgh to our good friend Andre Ferguson, who had predicted that he was going to win every show this year, and he had to go home with second place. I haven't talked to him since then, but I'm sure he was not happy with that.
That's my homie, man. Me and Andre, we talk every day. He George and I like, and it's a mutual respect, and it's all love, but once we get out there on stage, we're after each other's necks. We're all trying to win.
Right. Now you are the taller of the three guys. Andre being the shorter. Andre a little more compact, a little more muscle. You have that a little taller. You're kind of like George Brown's physique, but you are even taller than he is. Do you think your height played to your advantage in this showdown?
It's one of those things I'm not quite certain, because I feel like at the Arnold Classic, I was about probably 4 or 5 inches taller than everyone. And a lot of people I talked to, like, I kind of stood out in ways that it kind of couldn't be compared. So, I mean, I guess it worked into my favor the last 2 shows. So, well, it's an answer. I really don't, I'm not sure.
Same judging panel. So these judges changed their mind about you from the Arnold to the Pittsburgh. And you got the win here in a very, very deep lineup, which has to, give you a tremendous amount of momentum, obviously going into the New York Pro, and then obviously into the Olympia later this year. Will the New York Pro be your last show until the Olympia?
Not sure yet, man. I'm too focused on winning the New York Pro right now.
Right.
So,
you would really, if you won New York, you really have nothing else to prove. There's no other shows really that are of any degree or caliber in the same realm as the New York Pro, so you probably would, you'd probably have to wait for the Olympia at that point, or it would look like you're going backwards almost, I would think.
Possibly, but it's like, I feel like, man, just like how Andre, at the beginning of the year, like that's why with his route, he's doing so many shows. It's like, I've never wanted to just make the Olympia just to make the Olympia. There's quite several guys And I want to, when that first call out comes, I want to be in it. So whatever steps I need to take, wins I need to get, and shows I need to do or not, that's what it's all about.
Right. Well, I'm sure the trifecta of Charlotte, Pittsburgh, New York will certainly give you every bit of street cred as you could possibly need going into that Olympia and vying for that title. What do you think when you look at your physique? Because when I always used to compete and I would look at my pictures afterwards, I'd be like, oh, I look terrible. Even though obviously I look good, I was in good shape, but I would always find the flaws in myself. When you look in the mirror, what do you see when you see those pictures? Do you say, oh man, I wish I had a bigger this or a bigger that? Or what do you like?
That's just with anyone that trains every day, whether you compete or not. We're our best worst critics. But I will say, I can agree with that. Every show, I always pick something apart, like, I wish I would have done this better, hit this pose better. But I will say at Pittsburgh, this was probably the first time where I was not completely satisfied because, again, we're our best worst critics, so we're never going to be fully satisfied. But the Pittsburgh show, man, I feel like I nailed my posing. I held my shots that I needed to, and the results matched up with how I was feeling.
Let me ask this question, because a lot of men's physique guys out there, I guess you could say they're from the old guard, and they're not as big as the current crop. I mean, the new guys, yourself, George, Andre, Jeremy, I mean, there's a lot of muscle you guys pack on your frame. You look like mini bodybuilders, which I like. I think that's a great look. Do you think the sport of men's physique is going to get bigger, or do you think it's going to stay about what it is now? How do you see the sport evolving?
In the pro side of things, I can't see them sizing down. I just can't see that actually occurring because of where guys are. And then when you come from amateur side and to the pros, the first thing they tell you do, well, not everyone, but some majority of guys aren't ready coming from the amateur to the pros, and the first thing you want to do is put size on. Right. So I can't see it sizing down on the pro end. And the amateur side, I can see it happening. It's actually beginning to happen. I witnessed some shows last year where they went for the more slim guys or smaller guys, so to say.
Now, you look like an athlete to me when I look at your physique. So, I have to. If I was a betting man, I'd say this guy probably played sports in high school. Were you a good athlete?
Yeah, I actually was. I played basketball. I went to Taylor Ordinance here in Pittsburgh, and I played a little bit in college at Penn State Beaver. It's a branch camp at Penn State. So, yeah, I played sports my whole life, baseball, football growing up as a child. So, yeah, I've been in an athletic background.
What made you say, hey, you know what? I want to really focus on weightlifting because I think I can be good in this? Because there's always a point in every person who competes life where they say, aha, this is the moment I know that I was meant to be on stage. What was that moment for you?
Actually, I was just in the gym lifting one day, and a good friend of mine, Sam Hall, he see me, curling on a preacher curls. I had about 3 plates on there, and he asked me, like, dude, do you compete? And I had no idea what he was even talking about. I didn't grow up after bodybuilding fanatic. And I'm thinking, like, compete. And he said bodybuilding. And I'm thinking, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and those guys. And at the time, I might have been about 185 pounds. And I'm like, no way. I did what men's physique was, like, not the slightest. And he introduced me to it. I did research on it, and I found guys on Instagram, and I trained for my first show, and I won the overall in that show. And from there, man, it was addictive. I fell in love with it.
It's easy to get addicted when you win your first show, that's for sure. What year was that?
October 2014.
Okay, so
I'm still rather new to everything still, man.
Yeah, you really haven't done many shows. You really don't have as much experience as some of these guys that might have been competing a long time. But I think that the men's physique division makes that appealing to a lot of people because they see it as attainable. It's not something you necessarily have to work 15 years towards getting your pro card because you don't have to be as big as the bodybuilders. Do you think that's why there's a little bit more mainstream appeal and why we see so many numbers in the men's physique division?
Oh, very much. I talk to people all the time, and when they find out I'm a bodybuilder, they're like, "What?" Like, because you're not, walking around like Phil and Dexter and, Sergio, big guys like that. I show them what men's physique is, and they're like, oh, yeah. So, and then that's just for people who are unknown to the sport and what's going on. But to everyone else, yeah, they look and they see, I mean, that's an attainable look. It's not easy. You know, it still takes work, but it's more realistic, I guess, and so to speak, for certain guys.
Well, there's only 2 guys that you haven't beaten yet out there. That's Jeremy Buendia, the Mr. Olympia, and Ryan Terry from the UK. Those guys, obviously, you know, are guys that are still ahead of you. Going into the Olympia, if we look forward and flash forward a little bit, how do you think you'll stack up against them on stage?
I think I'll stack up very well against anyone. I'm just confident in myself, and I just know through preparation I won't leave any stone unturned, especially for Olympia. I've just been getting better and better, and actually, I feel like I'm just getting started. So if let's say, you know, I pull off the win for New York, and take time to improve for Olympia, I think I like my chances.
Let me ask you an offbeat question, because I noticed that, especially in the men's physique division, a lot of guys are really into tattoos. I noticed you have a lot of tattoos on your body as well. Is that like do people think that that's like have you gotten those a long time ago, or are those something you just got recently? And do you think it affects the judging at all?
I had them prior to even competing, and I still get questioned about it, whether that was the reason why, you know, places this and that. But when I first got started, I went to go see Gary Udick for some posing, and he seen me go from front to back, and he was like, "Wow, that's a big tattoo, but that's a big ass back too." So, so right there, it kind of, you know, got me over even contemplating whether my tattoo was an issue or not.
Yeah. Well, it's not as noticeable on stage, you know, as some other people. But I do notice that a lot of men's physique guys have the tattoos. They have sleeves. They have, you know, all the things that we never would have gotten years ago when bodybuilding, you know, was kind of frowned upon to do that in bodybuilding. You know, we would get them on like our arm or maybe on our ankle. You know, nowadays people put them everywhere. You know, so I guess the judges don't care anymore.
Well, men's physique is still rather new too, Dave.
Yeah.
It's only been since 2012.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of guys, we haven't like necessarily been actually preparing for men's physique.
Right.
Like some may have like started, like Chris Bumstead, the guy at C-Bum, man. He started in high school. He's still young.
Yeah.
Guys like me, I didn't start from like in high school to get up. It just like occurred in men's physique, and then the tattoo and ink was there already. So.
Right. You have any sponsors you want to plug?
None right now. We got some opportunities coming up.
Right.
Lots of since, you know, the success. So.
Yeah, people love to hire people who win shows, right? You notice that?
Well, buddy, you said everyone's your friend when you're winning.
That's right. Well, you know what? Congratulations on the wins, and best of luck at the New York Pro next week. We will see you there. We'll be there covering the show, and it's going to be a showdown. I know Andre Ferguson's got to be pissed off, and he wants to get a little revenge on you. And it'll be, I'm sure maybe we'll get a little pre-contest, little interview with the both of you, just to kind of hype up the contest. Good luck, and we'll see you in New York.
I'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right, and that'll take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.